I got a little exercise for you. I think it's gonna get the brain waves moving for this particular question, because this is a issue, a topic that I see. I get asked a lot, and frankly, I think this is an opportunity to clear it up, to get some clarity to what difference between a coach, a consultant, a mentor, and an advisor. Frankly, as we're getting into this, I think if you can articulate those the differences, the nuances between them, I think you're really putting yourself in a position to boost your I don't know, boost your value in terms of getting the support you need, or even bringing that knowledge to your organization. Okay, it is 12:02, and we're going to jump into this. Hello, everybody. I'm Kevin Black, Black Market Leadership. Thank you for joining. This is exciting. Again, I'm getting used to this restream, and if you haven't heard earlier, but we are live now on YouTube, on Facebook, and obviously LinkedIn. You'll see we have new comments that if you want to post comments, we can do that. I am messing with this right now. Let's get rid of that. All right, we'll get rid of that. And if you have questions, please write them up. I don't know how you can join us by video. I'm not sure how you can do that, but that's fine. So we have 4 people in the room, which is great. This is good. Okay, so question for the audience now. Here we go. We're going to jump into this. I'm going to give you a hypothetical and an example of something, and I want to know your response. You'll see where I'm going to go with this. But my question to you is, in this hypothetical, what is necessary? A coach, a mentor, a consultant, or an advisor? Okay. Here is the scenario. And the scenario is this. You get a call from a VP of HR from an organization. This organization has been around 3 years. It's a small, growing company. They were 10 million 3 years ago. Now they're 100 million, rising up, shooting up. The VP of HR calls you, and they say, "Do you do coaching?" And you say, "Yes, I do coaching." Then they ask, a little further down the conversation, "Do you do executive coaching?" "Oh, yes, you do. You, audience, you do executive coaching." And then it comes out, "Well, for our company, we're looking for some people to gain some coaching, to get some kind of support. They're having some challenges. They're not being the best leaders or managers right now. They're not really. They're getting a little testy with people. And the fact is that they could be using some support." And we got more people joining. And by the way, this is a scenario that I'm going to ask you the answer. So you've already been asked by the VP of HR, "Do you do coaching?" Yes. You find it for executive, and you have senior executives who need it because they're not coming out the best. Then you find out, well, it's not just executives. We want you to coach the chief executive officer and the COO. Those are 2 people who need this. So given this scenario, you do the coaching, you realize where it's coming from. This company, again, brand new, went from 10 million, let's say 15 to 100 million in 3 years, rapid rising. The question for the audience is, given they've asked you now, do you do executive coaching? And would you work with our chief executive or a COO? That's what they're asking for. What is the answer? What is your observation? Would you do coaching? Would you do a mentorship? Would you do a consultant? Would you be an advisor? What do you think? What is appropriate given that scenario that I've asked you? So again, this is going to come out, and I'd love, please type in, if you can't, type in on the right-hand side on the comments, or you could even, I think, type in the comments, please, what you think the answer is and why. So I want to wait a minute or two, get some answers, because this is a really, really fascinating discussion if we can get into it. Okay, we got a couple people watching. Any comments? Any comments? Okay, there we go. Again, the scenario is you've been asked for support. The CEO and COO of a $100 million organization need some support. They're not coming off as strong as they would. What would you recommend? Would you recommend coaching? Would you recommend mentorship? Would you recommend a consultant or an advisor? And add a comment, please add a comment. I'm looking for the comments here. So please, please, got to participate, people. Got to participate. If I don't hear anything in 15 seconds, then I'm going to give you my perspective because this actually happened to me. There we go. Okay. All right. So I'm not getting, as of right now, I'm not getting any feedback. All right. Well, I'm just going to jump into this. The answer, at least in my perspective, is no, they do not need executive coaching. No, they do not. And I'll give you two reasons why. One is I gave you a brief outline of the company. I said it's a very young company. They're rising up, right? Um, what that suggests is, well, that's one piece of evidence. And so it's a new company. The other is when people usually say they need coaching or need coaching support, what this suggests is, I think I kind of gave it away that they're not coming off as their best. They're coming off stressed. They're not being the best leader manager that they are, which is makes sense. I mean, totally makes sense for different people have that. But why this is important is one of the things that stresses out people, professionals, is the fact that their environment stressing them out. What is this? Oh, we got Don. Thank you for sharing. Hey, thanks, Don. Don ST. One of the things that really stresses people out is their environment. Things aren't happening the way they should be, and the rules aren't there, the systems aren't there. So when someone says you need an executive coach in that example, what they're saying is this person really needs support in developing their leadership skills. But here's the thing. They probably have these leadership skills. It's just the fact that their environment is lacking. And we have a startup like that. We have a new company that's going very fast. A lot of the architecture, a lot of the elements of the organization they're probably missing. So, especially for a chief executive or a COO, someone who's really high in the ranks, it's really probably not their leadership type. I mean, think about it. Look how they got to that position. Assuming they've worked their way up, but they're on the top already. The challenge is it's their environment. That's why a advisor, strategic advisor, would be completely necessary for this. So I had this conversation with the VP of HR at this time. I said, "Look, you don't need a coach. You need an advisor." And they looked at me like, "What? No, we need a coach." No, you don't. The fact is, you're probably just missing the right systems. The fact is, you probably are lacking systems which are incredibly important to ensure that that their best talents are coming out. And that's where that conversation went from there. So I want to bring this up because a lot of people today they ask about coaches, consultants, mentors, and advisors. What the heck is the difference? That's really the question. What the heck is the difference? So what we're going to do is we're going to walk through. Uh, so Don, oh, there we go. Unrelated, but please have Michael Scheuer on sometime and do it live. Oh God, Oxford, I would love to get Dr. Scheuer back on. Just let you know, he's has his own podcast with Colonel Mike, the two mics, which is very popular. So I would love to get Dr. Scheuer back on. I'll see if I can do that. But good news is I probably can get Colonel McGregor back on. So keep that in mind. Colonel McGregor is a stud. I love having him on, and he's got some things to say, and I think the people need to hear it. So thank you, Oxford and Don. Um, going back, the purpose of this presentation, of this discussion, and again, it's discussion. It is what is the difference between these things? And the fact is, if you're a young professional, at some time you might need some support. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna walk you through the four different lanes, and I'll describe them. And please throw out some questions, throw out some observations and feedback, and I'll be glad to answer any questions you have. So first, a coach. What is a coach? A coach is supposed to be an expert in helping you at the individual level, and specifically their value is it's helping improve you at the tactical, technical at level, meaning they help give you the tools to improve your value in your role. So a coach is very, very specific. So if you want to learn how to communicate, plan, gosh, gain self-awareness, how not to freak out around times when feel like you lose control. That's what a coach does. So a coach is very personal and it's usually one on one. The challenge, though, the challenge with coaching is that's the terminology that really everyone knows. That's a terminology that really everyone sees. I've had so many people, I tell them I do advisory work, I'm a consultant. They don't know what the heck I'm talking about. And when they ask me, are you a coach? Well, I do coaching. So it's true. Coaching is a coaches, it's a very ubiquitous, very general term. It is overused. Everybody that's in the leadership field is sometimes called a coach. That is not necessarily true. Coaches, again, work one on one with individuals. They can help you elevate your personal game. Okay, that's really important. Help elevate your personal game. And again, there are a lot of coaches. There's life coaches, there's leadership coaches, and what I'm talking about now is leadership coaches. But again, what are the deliverables? It's improved skills. That could be the skill of strategic planning. They can help improve your competency of strategy, of understanding what strategy is. It can help you what called be adaptive. That means being able to adjust it to your environment in a constructive manner. Okay, that's what all these things mean. So if you're interested in one-on-one support to elevate your game as a player, then you probably want to look for a coach. Okay, so that's what coaching is. The next is what we call a mentor. Some of you may have heard of mentors. I mean, God, the term, that's another big term. Mentors, though, especially in business, mentors are different from coaches, very different. You see, when you're again, if a coach helps you with the technical, tactical aspects of your job, really giving you the tools and the mindset of how the tools and the means of how to be a success. A mentor is usually internal. A mentor is a person who can help give you wisdom, to give you a certain mindset of how to rate. Not necessarily to how you raise your game professionally, but really to climb the ladder within an organization. Oh, Don ST just did 2 episodes with Doug McGregor, and they were brilliant. Oh, I love the word brilliant. We'll have him back on, Don, I promise. I know he would love to get this feedback, and I'll tell him. So, in fact, if you like, you can email me some questions that you think Dr. or Colonel McGregor could answer, and I'll be glad to pass those on. So going back to mentors though, I got to stick on the subject. With a coach, coach helps you with the tools. A mentor will help you almost in a sense strategically rise the ranks within the organization. That's what a mentor does. So if someone wants a mentor, they're not necessarily looking for the tools or the means of being a good leader. They're looking for the ways of how to climb that ladder within the organization. And usually organizations will have what we call champions. That's someone who is usually not your peer. I'm gonna say they're elder, but they're not your peer, and they're there to support you again rise in that. In my career, I have never been paid to be a mentor. I have never sold my services as a mentor, never. However, though, what you find is coaching and mentor usually overlap. So if you have a coach and that someone, a person may be older or more wise than you, they can act as a mentor. But again, I don't know many organizations that sell mentorship as a service. However, though, just to let you know, there are groups out there. There are groups that actually work together. For instance, there are CEO groups or COO groups. These people come together and it's usually peer to peer. But when they talk, when they're trading ideas, you'll find there's someone in there who is usually has more experience, and then they gain these personal relationships, and that's where a mentorship kind of starts. It's implied, it's indirect, but that really is the difference. So if you want to rise the ranks in the organization and help gain some wisdom of who to engage with and who to avoid, especially in your organization, you're looking for a mentor. You're not looking for a coach. Big difference there. Big difference. Third is a consultant. Now, when I say consultant, I mean a leadership consultant. Okay, what exactly is a leadership consultant? Well, that's a consultant who actually comes in and they will, even though they will work with people, usually teams. They're God, people yell at me for saying this, but sometimes leadership back end, they can come in and help create a leadership development program, something for the organization that they can use in the long run. So I know people who are called they call themselves trainers. My friend Don Vandergriff is a trainer, but in essence, he's a consultant because he goes to organizations. He works with different trainers who then train who he trains the trainers so the trainers can train everyone else. So that creates that ripple effect that supports all the development throughout the organization. So that's what a consultant does. A consultant comes in, they support usually at the operational, the strategic level. Unlike a coach who focuses on the individual, a consultant usually comes in and it supports the general workforce. So that's important. If you have an organization, a new company, and you want a leadership development program, you want to do something like that, or even create a new performance review system, something to that effect, that's where you would bring a consultant in. Okay, so that's a big, big difference. Consultants are usually back in, they can support you and again, leader development programs. They can even support you in creating strategy, performance review systems. In essence, they help you increase your leadership bench strength. Again, from the back end. But, but if who buys consultants? Usually business owners or people who run like a VP or an SVP. They'll bring in a specialist. And that's the thing, consultants are usually specialists. You'll find people who specialize in strategy, who specialize in leadership. So back in usually works with the executive leadership team again or SVP. That's what a consultant does. And the next level, the next thing is what we call an advisor. And an advisor for, I guess, Don out there, Colonel McGregor was an advisor to the Secretary of Defense. I could say Secretary of War, but that's a long time ago. Secretary of Defense. What's an advisor do? An advisor is a very, very senior level support. It's an expert in their field. They support usually the senior level, the executive leadership team in terms of business, and they really help impact strategy. Now, an advisor, like a strategic advisor, when they come in, they can support business development, meaning help you bring in new processes. They help the senior leadership in their decision making. But in terms of leadership, though, an advisor, and I kind of call these super advisors. Super advisor does all the things I told you about before. They can act as a consultant. They can act as a mentor. They can act as a consultant, and they answer directly to usually the CEO or the executive leader. So if you were looking for an advisor, you're probably, again, the chief executive, senior executive, or you're a business owner. You need someone to support you in creating strategy, in aligning the organization, in performance reviews, in leadership. And it's a whole big shebang. So the difference is, though, you got to identify some people are called strategic advisors. You got to look into what they do. What does that mean? Do they just help you in decision making, or or do they come in and really help you reorient the entire organization, even help you restructure if necessary? So a strategic advisor or a super advisor, as I call them, they carry all those things in their pocket. They can do all of them, and again, they answer to the senior leadership team. Again, they can coach, they can mentor, consult to do all these, and they could be very pricey, as you can guess. So, in a sense, that's what those four elements are. And if anything, I've identified a couple things just to keep in mind. So remember, we when you use the word coach, look, I'm always speaking my mind. Coaches are a dime a dozen. There's if you like leadership and you have an idea, you call yourself a coach, you're now a coach. That's just the way life is. Doesn't mean you don't get business, but you can be a coach. So remember, coaches are one-on-one. It's a very general, ubiquitous name. You got to really define your needs or the needs of your organization. If you have someone in your organization who needs to up their game as a leader, assuming you have systems in place. Remember, a lot of people you see kind of that negative reaction, sometimes even the toxicity because they're lacking the systems, the structure that makes people feel like they have order around them. Because when people lose order and they fall into chaos, their nastiness comes out, their bad side comes out. So that's why it's extremely important to know these differences to really have this nuance. So again, if you want one-on-one to up your game, you want a coach. If you want some one-on-one support to help someone help you rise the ranks, like, hey, I'm a good leader, I'm a good manager. I'm not sure how to, I want to be a VP here. I want to be the CEO of this place one day. How do I do that? You need a mentor. You do not need a coach, you need a mentor. But again, be careful. These two overlap. A lot of coaches could be mentors, but not every mentor could be a coach. I don't know. I think it kind of makes sense. Consultants. Remember, if you have an organization, or if you want to create a strategic strategy, if you want to create a leadership development program, a performance review system, something specific that can really help your company, not just at the individual level, but literally go through the teams and different functions, that's where a consultant comes in. Sometimes they can be one-off. They can, again, focus on those certain things to help boost the chances for overall success. And finally, if you're looking for someone who can help align the organization, reorient the organization, create strategy, provide strategic advice, that's what a strategic advisor can do. If you want all those elements, that's what a super advisor, not supervisor, but super advisor, they can help you reorient the organization, give you the tools, or even implement leadership development programs, performance review systems, help you hire, help you fire. They can do all those. So they literally are, they answer to the top, and they come in a sense like they're paid mercenaries, but they have knowledge and everything. So that in that instance, what a super advisor is. Well, we've had some people joining us, had some good questions, though, all about Colonel McGregor and Michael Scheuer. Yeah, I got to get Michael Scheuer back on. That was a great, and Colonel McGregor too. I love them both. Those are great interviews. I get Carol Roth on too. That was a great interview. Really enjoyed talking to Carol. So with that, I want to thank all of you for participating in this. It was a lot of fun. I actually had some questions and some insights. That was a lot of fun. Um, if you are interested in upping your game and you're not interested in spending thousands of dollars in doing it, you should check out my website, Black Market Leadership. I have tools available. Gosh, over 50 hours of videos, quizzes. We actually have as well gamification and certifications will be available pretty soon. So if you want to do leadership on your own time, and at half the cost but twice the value, you should check out Black Market Leadership. And if you don't believe me, go on the website now, create a free profile, check it out, tell me what you think. If you have some ideas for content for the podcast, and by the way, Black Market Leadership Podcast, it is available on iTunes, Audible, and Spotify. A lot of fun. I think we're on episode 44. Check out Mission Command series. That's with Donald Vandergriff. Gosh, we've interviewed Chet Richards, protege of Boyd. I mean, gosh, the guy who just really reoriented, helped to redefine military strategy. And the cool thing of that story is he was the Air Force tactical pilot, best in the United States Air Force, then creates the energy maneuverability theory, a theory which was adopted throughout the Air Force, then creates the OODA loop, which is totally taken in by the Marine Corps, adopted by the Marine Corps and the Army. What a character, what a fantastic story. So we've interviewed his protege, Chet Richards. I've interviewed Fred Leland of the 30-year-old veteran police law enforcement officer professional, and Joe LaBarbera, who was an operations officer, and we talked about culture. Again, this is all with my co-host Donald Vandergriff. Don Vandergriff, the author of the great book Adopting Mission Command. If you haven't read it, I highly recommend it. 12:25 in the PM Arizona time. I feel like a radio host saying this. Traffic. No. We got about 4 minutes left, and I always do my best to stay on time with this. I have been secretly coordinating with David Johnson of the David Johnson Show in the beginning of March. I think I've mentioned it before, but we're going to do a analysis of a movie or a show. It's going to be a movie, I think, a very popular one, and we're going to we're going to show you how to do a tailored coaching program experience, how we can pluck out all these critical lessons of it. It could be entrepreneurship, leadership, strategy, just from watching a show. So you don't have to read some of these huge books. God, you should see my libraries of just filled with books. Um, I think I read these so you don't have to. So we can watch these movies and pluck at lessons and you can use them instantly. And plus, you can have fun doing it. Well, we have, gosh, roughly 3 minutes ago, but I tell you what, I'm going to cut this short. We, this has been a lot of fun. I want to thank you all again for your time, for being a part of this. And again, if you have any questions, contact me, connect with me on LinkedIn, follow me, please. And then, and if you have, yeah, maybe I should do a thing about the book of chaos, my book, Strength in Chaos, A Leader's Guide to Mastering the Uncontrollable. I have to tell you real quickly, this has been a very, very stressful thing to do to writing a book. But I am now 65,000 words in, 16 chapters. And I would tell you, I'm doing things to really up my game in writing, and it has been a fun experience. It has been a real mental odyssey. I'm uncovering things I just didn't really recognize that were there. So, really enjoying it. I'm really enjoying the process, even though it is stressful. I gotta get this book out. I got to. This is just but I gotta get something that I'm very proud of, something I'm happy with because I tell you, there are a lot of people out there who publish books, and I get it just to get their name out there, and it makes sense. But I want something that I can be like, "Yep, I wrote that. No ghostwriter. Those were my ideas for better or for worse. That's me." And then later on, when the cash rolls in, then you hire the ghostwriters. That's how I think that'd be my strategy. With that, I hope everyone has a great weekend. Thank you again for participating in this interesting session of coaches, mentors, consultants, and advisors. Kevin Black here of Black Market Leadership. Any questions, concerns, or feedback, contact me at kevin@blackmarketleadership.com. Again, go to the website, blackmarketleadership.com, create a free profile, check it out. And if you like it, become a member because you get some really good courses and quizzes and potential certifications. With that, I hope everyone has a great day, great weekend, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.